Friday, as above, so below. This is the Venus energy, and we want to talk about something that is necessary for conjure mysticism. I want to thank my madrina, my padrino, and my oba, and all of my brothers and sisters in Ifa, Voodoo, Santeria, Lukumi, Congo, Palo, Mystic, and Adjays. As you're being notified, if this is your first time on my live, my name is Chief Apostle Samuel Jr. I am the apostle and pastor of Apostolic Faith of Jesus Christ, and my beliefs are deeply rooted in the ATRs, those are the African traditional religions by which we harness, direct, and disperse energy, frequency, and vibration. To each and every one of you guys, I teach universal laws because they are applicable and apply to each and every one of us. What's up, my Demetrius Gemini in the house? This is going to be a opportunity for you to learn real magic in the power of Venus. I like to say Venusian. You know, I'm trying to relate it to the vagina, because I'm that type of person. But it is Venus, and I love it. What's up there, Miranda? My aloha, my Aquarius from what? Hawaii. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. Now, I also want to say hello and thank you to Pisces, Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Aquarius, Cancer, Capricorn, Leo, Sagittarius, Scorpio, Libra, and Virgo. I also want to say, Dimitri, thank you so much for the encouragement about the message yesterday. But this is going to be a doozy. What's up there? I ain't see Alicia. I ain't see you in Lapia. What's up, my Ryan Cardinal? He said, thank you for the picture. Yeah, I got y'all your candles going. Y'all know I'm extra, so I'm always doing extra. Because I'm all about that manifestation. She said, energy on high, apostle, from this channel. Because what I'm going to do, I'm going to pull this from Christian faith and pull this so you'll know how things are relating and how you go from one culture, one captive people to the next. Okay? What's up, my baby Scorpio? I almost forgot this other contrast. And I want y'all to know where a lot of this stuff come from. And the reason why we're doing this is because we got a lot of influx when it comes to melanated people and getting into the ATRs. And I can't teach you the secrets of the ATRs unless you're initiated or crowned. But I can teach you universal law. I can do that. And that is going to still bring you to clarity. Now, remember this. Thank you for hitting that like button. Don't forget, I'm a Sagittarius. Moon is in Aries. And my rising sign, Pisces. Consider the Taurus. That's my way of fairly warning people. I am truly a Sagittarius on the 15th of December. Ain't no diggity, no doubt. I got Jupiter energy. My moon is Aries, Mars. And my rising sign is what? Pisces. That Jupiter and Neptune. This is what you get over here. I'm melanated. I'm a melanated man in America. So understand the channel by which you are embarking. Okay? Now that I have greeted everybody, I want to talk about, because this is Venus energy, and I really want this to come across where we have a better understanding of magic. Masculine energy, feminine energy, and everybody always likes to leave out organ energy. I'm going to say it again. People like to leave out when it comes to when it comes down. I almost feel like I was about to say Levioso, but I didn't. Never know what these tongues are gonna do. But they talk about feminine energy, masculine energy. But we forget organ energy, which is higher than both masculine and ebasa, which means source. I'm going to say it again, which means source. Because if we're going to talk about energy, we're going to have a better clarity. And all of these energies have purpose. Not for us to get down on the physical plane or the earth plane and get cocky. Because we all have a part to play when it comes down to manifestation. Now, whether we delay that manifestation because of our behavior, our outlooks, our personal prejudice, that's on you, sir and ma'am. I don't know who this CJ is, but this is a spiritual channel. Thank you, Demetrius. Now, I'm going to be talking about some stuff, and you'd have heard this before. It has been really preached in a negative connotation, but I'm going to explain the symbology behind what I'm going to talk about. And it's really an eye-opener if you allow it when it comes down to your magic, your spirituality, and how you walk in your particular traditions, initiations, or you're just energy alone. As long as you got a spirit, you can do magic. Different levels, different types of rituals, but at the end of the day, we all looking for what? Manifestation. And I appreciate the support. I appreciate the support. I appreciate the testimonies that we have so we can grow as a unit, as a melanated people. So I'm going to be coming. I thought I marked my Bible. Good thing I know where it is. So I'm going to be coming from Genesis, the 3rd chapter, verse 15. And if you haven't been in the black church, you have heard this particular scripture, but it has been derogatory, and because they don't know that Christianity really stole a lot of their stuff out of Kemet, which is Egyptology. So we need the back surface and a background check so you will know how and why certain things are done. We talk about the 12 disciples, but they were really 13 disciples. Matthias was through the casting of lots, replacing Judas. But we know that energy does not what? Die. The reason why is that because it's a reflection of the zodiac. That's why we understand Cyrus, the solar system of Cyrus, that is not in this solar system. But I ain't gonna get all deep and wonderful on y'all because I'm feeling really geekish. Okay? Now, this scripture says, and I will put enmity between thee and the woman. This is the divine Yahweh speaking at this point. He's going to put enmity, enmity means hatred, between the woman and the serpent. We got to know where a lot of stuff derived from. And between thy seed and her seed. Now, we know that the male carries the seed. But here it's talking about metaphorically and symbology. The woman having the seed. You need to understand this. I'm gonna bring it. And it shall bruise thy head, The woman's seed shall bruise the head, and thou shalt bruise his heel or his footing. We all know or should know that Pisces rules the feet of man. So let me bring clarity. The reason why I'm discussing that the seed of the woman is simply because we need to understand that the woman is the goddess, the feminine energy. When you're performing magic, you can't birth anything without feminine energy. You cannot bring anything to an existence without feminine energy. So this is not a fleshly thing, because the scripture says that there's no male or female in Christ, which means Christos, which means the anointed one, which means enlightenment. When you are enlightened, you don't make this a physical thing. You understand it's a spiritual thing. And therefore, when we walk around with cauldrons and iron thing, we know it's representation of the woman's womb. And so we embrace that with understanding and clarity. We don't go around and say that a man or male birthed anything, because we know that it is impossible. Impossible. So to manifest, you must engage and honor feminine energy. Just like there's masculine toxicity, there's also feminine toxicity. We're all vessels on this earth. A woman on the earth is a man with a womb. I'm going to say it again. Males have the same organisms that females have. So when you make this a carnal thing, what's up there, my Karen O'Brien? So my point is to pull or elevate or enlighten melanated people that are practicing magic, not to make this a carnal thing. Because you're going to miss some if you walking on left hand or the right hand. Everybody talking about left hand, right hand path. Well, your left hand and your right hand is on the same body. Stop separating the energy other than their roles to manifest, and then make a woman. So if you want to just really break it down, the penis is the clitoris. The testes or the nuts of a man is the ovaries of a woman. There's the same machinery, but they got different roles once they manifest on the earth. That's why I am crowned Mafetifu Yanza. I carry androgynous energy, which means I can birth and I can direct energy. You don't make, if you're trying to learn real conjuring and why truly African always started with the female deities, because there's no life on earth. She's the only energy that can bring man or woman to this. Don't just say she can bring woman, but she also brings man. And she did, after a while, because of the chromosomes and inside of her body, depending whether it's estrogen, she gonna get a female. If she got testosterone, because all of that takes place in the womb of a woman. Energetically, how you manifest has nothing to do with your flesh. It's what's going on in her womb. Let's keep it simple. So you can respect your feminine energy, the feminine energy in a man. You can respect the masculine energy in a man and respect the masculine energy in a woman. And we will get along so much better. Because the same people that's out here talking about men or women is still going based off of colonization. Because your remarks are just like your master. I don't care how you trying to get away from patriarchy. You still have the terminology and you address melanated men the same way your master did, and vice versa. So let's cut the crap. Now, why this is important? Because every man you meet is the seed of a woman. I'm going to say it again. Every melanated man you meet on this planet, while you around here talking about he ain't shit, you still talking about another goddess, child, or seed. I am my daddy's son, but I am definitely my mother's child. How you instruct that male energy, the things you teach that male energy, is how he gonna move in this earth. Now let me break it down scientifically. That's why when women get together, chaos energy gets together, whatever woman in that group or that pack with the strongest energy or magnetic pull, everybody's cycle goes on. If the mama there, then her daughter's cycle flow with her. That's how she know when she done miss and she pregnant. Because she start going by another cycle. If we stick to nature, we'll answer a whole lot of questions. So let me break it out. So the reason I'm saying this, if you understand the magnetic pull of a woman, which is ruled by the moon, that's why we symbolize Mother Nature and the moon with magnetic pull. So if this child, male child, is in the magnetic pull of his mother, then he gonna typically have her way. Even if she died after birthing him or while birthing him, she dies. He still came from that magnetic pull, and he's gonna carry the trait. That's why Snake in Harry Potter was in love with Harry Potter's mother, but he carried her eyes, and which made him have a love for Harry Potter. Oh, y'all ain't trying to hear me. That male child, when you looking at that man, you need to look at his magnetic pull, his mother. Because however she groomed him, whatever way she conducts herself, he's gonna do that. That's why I'm sneaky. Because I was raised by Virgo. That's why I don't want people in my business. Ain't got nothing to do with me as a Sagittarius. It has a lot to do with me, my magnetic pull. I don't care how old you get. You still came from that womb. I may float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. My favorite thing was human. But I know what womb I come from. Even though I love the way my grandmother had no business. But my molding come from my mother. Every man you see comes from a goddess. Our mentality about us has to change. That's why you can't be a bitch or whore unless my mother is a bitch or a whore. That's why you got to be careful how you talk about women and how women talk about men. Because he came from a womb. And however that womb raised him, groomed him, he still has those polarities or energies. That's why when we do conjure, if that mother has passed, we go to the mother's grave about that child or that he gone. But that mother has a pull from the spirit world. And if she living, she still got a pull. That's why if your mother or your father curse you, you're done. I had to tell my oldest son, I say, your mother don't have to do what I do to cause you havoc. She don't have to practice voodoo, none of that. By being your mother, she can cause you all kind of problems with her magnetic pull. So y'all don't understand, this ain't about a lighting a candle. This ain't about an incense. Understand where you come from. That's why when we talking about astrology, which womb did you give birth from? That's why you are Sagittarius. That's why you a Taurus. That's why you a Gemini. That's why you a Virgo. This science, universal law, you can't disrupt this. When you talk about men that manifest as male on this earth, you talk about gay people or bisexual people, you're still talking about the seed of the goddess. Can I say this again? You create every energy. You have the mitochondriac gene. You have the E gene. You create you are the creator. That's why you goddess. When you're talking about a man, you're talking about the seed of some goddess. You don't have to know her. You know he didn't get here by himself. So when you talking about he got a good piece of dick, what you really saying, he got a good piece of clitoris. This is why you don't go back and enter back into your mother's womb, Nicodemus. This is why you ain't got no business having sex out of the same womb you passed through. You mess up your energy. Incest. Fathers having sex with male or female, or mothers having sex with male or female. That you mess up the energy. So this is what we need to understand. So every time, everywhere in history, in conjure, you're gonna see the black woman with a child in her hand. In Christianity, is Mary, Mother of God. See, Christianity really know the truth. They don't want white Caucasian people never wanted the common people to understand magic, conjure. When they're saying, those priests or those real high priests in Catholicism are talking to the Mother of God, they know what they're doing, and they know they're not contacting. They only whitified it, but they know that they're contacting chaos energy, which is Divine Mother. And they say, go to your son, Yahshua, or your son, Jesus Christ, and petition him. They're calling that divine feminine energy to go to masculine energy and get him to do what they're requesting. See, when other people know the real science, it makes sense. Those that study Catholicism. That's why you pray to Mary, the Mother of God, because you subconsciously you understand feminine energy got the birth whatever I'm asking for, and masculine energy directs chaos energy, which is feminine energy. Then we got Isis and Horus in Egyptian or Kemetic magic. That's why all this stuff is important. It's not about humanizing them. This is about understanding the energy. Isis dominates. Feminine energy got many names. I'm going to say it again. Feminine energy has many names. And just like every woman ain't on the same level, all feminine energy, all wounds are not, all Ngangas, all cauldron are not on the same level. When you want destruction to come down on somebody, you cause chaos energy, because feminine energy is what? Negative energy. This is why I'm trying to get us out of the habit of saying remove all this negative energy, because you're getting rid of feminine energy. And you can't get a charge without feminine, a negative energy and positive energy. Electrons and protons. You can't get a charge. You can't activate your magic. You can't manifest. You can't pull. So my point is, now we know that Isis is the mother of God. She got Horus sitting in her hands, because feminine energy, that's why she's representing bigger, because feminine energy is stronger than masculine energy. But Argon energy is stronger than feminine energy. But they all are necessary. Because once the womb births something, all the masculine energy got to do is direct the manifestation. Rule over the manifestation. Govern over the manifestation. Protect the manifestation. See, all of them got a role to play. You can't give life without feminine energy. And you can't direct and master feminine energy without masculine energy. So Isis and Horus in Kemet Egyptology, which is in Africa. You can't get around this. This is universal truth. And your lack of respect for it only determines how far you're going to grow. You're not hurting anybody by having a pick either side. Just like you're not helping yourself when you think because you're doing dark magic, you got more power than somebody doing light magic. With you lacking the understanding that dark magic or chaos magic is negative work. And only thing different is light magic is positive work. But you can do evil or good with both. We put names and labels on stuff to distort the truth. I'm making it really, really, really simple. So we got Mary and Jesus, still same concept. Then we got Ezeli Dontor in Voodoo, Haitian Voodoo, which is my first love. And I don't know if I'm gonna pronounce this right or not, but I'm gonna spell it. T-I, abbreviation Jean Petro. So I don't know if it's Ty, I don't know if it's T, but I know it's Jean, because most Haitians got Jean in their name. Ty Jean Petro, or this is another word that represents her child. This child right here. Anisis. Ain't that close to Isis? Anais. What's up there, Jeremy? If you want that, get in my conjure class that I got to do relatively soon. Go to my website. I'm teaching about conjure. You want a consultation? And let me tell you something. This person asked, how do you break a curse from your mother? energetically. This is what I'm asking you. How do you burn the sun? You can't. Y'all got to stop believing your parents are your foundation. And in some lifetime, you got to get it right, or you move yourself or your orbit outside of their gravitational pull. And then you can start doing something. But to say to somebody else, the reason why my mom cannot influence my life spiritually the way she could, I'm going to say it like this, she can influence. She could have blocked me, but my grandmother blessed me. That's the only way that my mom can't block me, because her mother blessed me. You have to go to their parents. A lot of us, you might be the recipient of their behavior, but you are not above your parents. Your parents ain't above their parents. It doesn't matter what type of parents. When I was having problems, I went to my father. Because my mother is not my father's woman. You got to respect protocol. You can't step over your parents. You got to go to their parents and petition them to deal with their child. When you dealing with soul ties or you coming with family unit, that's why you don't war or fight among blood. You can disagree with your parents all day long and never live your life that way. But you have to honor them because they're your doorways. That's your mother is your feminine energy, and your father is your masculine energy. I don't care if your father was gay and had more fruit cakes and fruit in his bowl than anybody on earth. That's your foundation. Because it don't have nothing to do with their lifestyle. It's the energy by which you came and was created in this earth realm. So don't let nobody fool you that you can go about. I'm more stronger than my mom, but that's because of other things that took place. But I'm never above my mother. I'm crowned my Fedifun Oya and crowned my Fedifun Babalu Aye. My mother is not crowned. I'm still not above her. If my mother was a crackhead, I wouldn't be above her. Don't let this natural world fool you. You can be more educated than your mother, but you ain't above her. Your father can be a drop dead bomb drunk, but you ain't above him. That's why when I tell y'all about my even though I was praying for my uncle or my nephew, his dad, that's why that was so significant. He said, I'm not going to die until you out of here. He hadn't done nothing. My grandma carried the whole way. He hadn't done nothing, but he did something that day. Because it was in his power, it was in his jurisdiction to bless his son. Y'all better come on and hear me up in here. You get, this is why y'all messing up with y'all children. This is how we messing up with our kids. Because when your dad talking about your mama, that's not his mother. You her child. Don't get none of it twisted. That's when I carry on, that's the way it goes. I was like, what? My ex-wife, why you over there fooling my mom? When my other son was born and I was showing my ass, and my baby mama came over there and said, Mama wanted her grandchild. And she said, what if Pee-wee, that's my nigga name, he found out She said, you might be scared of him, but I ain't scared of that motherfucker. My mama talk Korean. You might have to worry about him, but I ain't got to worry about him. He my child. She love to say, I'm your mammy, you ain't mine. And it's true. And if my mama wasn't spiritual, she still would have say so. So don't let nobody in Ifa. That's why I'm telling you, when I was going through my ceremonies getting crowned, my mother was the last person that spirit that, because they were kept asking, they were like, is she dead or what? Because they didn't understand. My father had showed up, my grandma, different one had showed up, and these people don't know my bloodline. That's why they were asking. But she eventually showed up and blessed me. She gave me her blessing. That's why I am what I am. She still don't like what I'm doing, but she still bless her seed. You can't get around not getting a blessing from your parents. And if you do, not getting around, you're going to be lacking certain things. So that's why I'm explaining all this. Magically, spiritually, you need to understand why all this is significant, why hierarchy exists. It will always be existing because these energies are different. They have different roles to play. That's why Yahshua has so much power, because the Spirit of God, Holy Ghost, which is feminine energy, sat upon him in the form of a dove. And that's why he was able to work signs, wonders, and miracles. Even though in the Trinity, because I was born out of a Trinity. Even in the Trinity, they have equal power. Just like why they set up the United States, that each, the judicial system has equal power, Congress has equal power, and the executive office, they set up with that same concept. That's why what Trump is trying to do is leverage more power out of the Congress and the judicial system. By me gaining power from my grandmother and birth from power from my mom, that's how I get to become who I am. Don't get this twisted. This is why when women come out here fight me, my fede from Oya, my fede from Oshun, my fede from Oba, and my fede from Yemija, gonna take care of your ass. Because I carry chaos energy. But I'm very masculine energy because of what? Sagittarius and Aries. Those are both masculine energy. That's why I'm psychic, because of my feminine energy. Pisces. So we understand and we got clarity. The seed of the woman is the masculine energy. The seed of the woman is masculine energy. And just like she's a goddess, he's a god. I don't care if you in Ifa, Voodoo, Santeria, Lakumi, Congo, Palo, Kamdemle, Kimbanda, Obia, it don't matter. And sometimes your mother need to go back to her mother. It don't matter. Don't get caught up in slavery, whether she didn't practice that. Give her veneration. Give your father his veneration. You're going to see how you start balancing out in your life. I don't care if he ain't living. I don't care if you ain't never had a relationship. They are your foundation. There's nothing you can do about it. How you choose to live your life has a lot to, and I tell women, watch a man, but know where his magnetic pull coming from. How much of his mother influence is in his life? And I'm gonna tell you something else. How much of her influence is not in his life? Because women will teach their daughters magic, but they won't teach their sons. And I'm gonna tell y'all something, and I'm using myself as an example. I got 3 kids from 3 different women, and I want you to hear me. The first one is a Leo, the second baby mama is a Sag, and the third baby mama is a Aries. All my baby mamas are fire signs. I'm gonna say it again. Leo, Sagittarius, and what? Aries. What I came to find out, and this is why whether you teach your child right or not, ladies, men are going to be attracted to, magnetized to whatever his mother is. Each one of my baby mamas has a part or a phase of who my mother is. This is why that man ain't gonna see nothing wrong that in a woman. And most women or most mothers do not like their daughter-in-law. My mama told me after taking a countless of people by her house for her examination. One day she told me, if she want my mama, I'd have fought her. She said, Pee Wee, I ain't gonna never like nobody you with. So you was making comments and saying stuff, because if my mama didn't like you, I was done with you. I had the girlfriend I had in elementary school, her name was Debbie, like my mama's name. I thought that was perfect. A male child is going to be attracted to women just like his mama. Now, what he don't know is certain things your mama ain't doing in front of you, but that it's in her. And a lot of times she don't like that girl because she got some of her in her. Some of that chaos energy. Some of that negative energy, which is not a bad thing. What I'm trying to let you understand, this is why sometimes, sir, you're going to find your mother in agreement. Because she can't make this girl so bad because she is a reflection on her. And somewhere you're going to figure out, damn, I married my mom. Damn, I had a baby with the same attributes. All 3 of my baby moms. I don't care if you gay, you're going to still be attracted to men that represent your foundation. I don't care if you don't even be around your daddy. You're going to be drawn to masculine energy of your foundation, or you're going to be drawn to feminine energy in your foundation. But you're and you're not going to be able to see certain things about them, because if you don't understand your parents or their parents, you ain't going to understand them. And you don't know why, even though your mama don't want you with that boy, but he just like your daddy. He carry the same energy. Same energy. And you can't shake him for your life. I'm just telling you, a lot of our problems because we're not respecting feminine and masculine energy. And we're trying to omit orgone energy, which is the void, the nexus, with the source where we all come from. Keep it simple. That's why females don't get along. And you call it a dick, but it's really masculine energy. It gonna draw in the way. That's why my one of my mother, both of my mother-in-law said I put witchcraft on their daughters. I put their wood on them, but that's no here to there. So she said my daughter ain't never act like this. Number one, she all rule her men, but she ain't gonna rule me. And she said my daughter ain't never left me for nobody. I'm always a threat when I walk in there because of my energy. I'm explaining why. She said, I think you put witchcraft on my daughter. I laughed. Ain't nothing wrong with thinking. But the truth is I said, go back and tell your mama what got you in Nutsville. Huh? This throbbing wood of Jesse got you in Nutsville. And you can't get yourself together. Because every time I bang around in that cauldron, every time I get to the bottom of that cauldron and hit the very bottom of that cauldron, you're going to be drawn to my energy. I don't have to do a prayer. I don't have to do an affirmation. One day her mama said to me, you act just like her daddy. There you have it. You put me in the mind of her daddy. That's why she ain't like me. But her daughter was attracted to, cause her mama called her daddy a hoe. I'm just an open, professed, anointed hoe. Stop trying to act like you don't know why you attracted to that freak. Cause your daddy a freak and your mama a freak. But they in the church and they wear white suits and white dresses. Just like they in Ifa and Voodoo and they wear a certain hook. But that energy up under that skirt, that's it. Energy don't lie. Wow, a guy I dated, mom is a Scorpio. Trying to tell you, energy don't lie. If you figure out the energy, then you'll be able to function more effectively. You'll be able to do your magic. You'll know why a particular chaos energy, which I'm referring to a woman, like you or dislike you. And you'll know why a particular masculine energy, in female or male, like you or dislike you. My mama used to say, I can't stand them sneaky whores. Let me tell you something. My mama was talking about Beyonce so bad. I'm not even a Beyonce fan. I like her music, but I'm a Whitney fan. Leo now. I'm diehard Whitney. Okay? So I was listening to her because mama talk about hey, brother. So she was talking about Beyonce. So I said, Mama, why you don't like she talking about Michael Jackson, talking about she danced all his music. She liked his music, but y'all got that whore, this. So I'm just telling you. So I did this for both artists. So I said, Mom, she said, what? I said, why you don't like Beyonce? And she was like, I don't like her because she came out here like she was a good girl, and now she slang her ass all over the stage. She portrayed like she was a good girl and she church and all this, and now she out here got all her body hanging out and she slinging her ass. I let her go on for whatever she need to get out. I waited till she stopped because I wanted all attention. I said, Mama, Beyonce a Virgo. When I say I shut her mouth up, Michael Jackson is a Virgo. All these problems you got with these people, they're Virgo. We mirror reflections of each other. I'm going to end on that note. So while you around here talking about your daughter-in-law, Why you talking about his mama? I I'll put 10 on it that y'all share some similar vibrations. Y'all may do it differently, but it's the same energy. It's the same energy. When you look around, and I want you to take your time out, and you might get shocked, you might get shooked, and find out energetically who you don't like, because they reflect yourself. When I found out one of my supervisors, I couldn't stand it, and the spirit spoke to me. You know why you don't like him? I said, why? He said, you will know it all, and he'll know it all. That's why y'all can't get along. Energies similar or alike repel each other. They repel each other. They repel each other. Figure it out. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. And I'll talk to y'all soon.